Good morning, student. Let us start one more session of our mathematics. Already I told you last time that we are starting a new chapter, slightly theoretical chapter, and this chapter will be slightly boring also. Earlier already I told you, but importance of this chapter is too much because after this next chapter also is related with this trigonometric function. So first of all, already introduction is given to you, but just like a schedule, we are going to revise some previous topic because this chapter is slightly theoretical one. So it is necessary to revise the previous topic. First of all, chapter 1, relations and a function. Session number 2 I am calling it, as I told you earlier also. Now session 1 will give it for chapter 1. So it's a session number 2 for this chapter number 1. Now for a revision part, as I told you earlier, we'll see again definition of relation. And during the definition of relation, what I told you, as we know that there is a Cartesian product in the 11th class, A cross B. So, relation is nothing but it's a subset of Cartesian product. Last time I told you already. So, I'm not going to repeat again. Relation is that particular rule by which two sets or elements of two sets are associated with each other or linked with each other. Suppose we have, definition wise, suppose we have two non-empty set. An element of A is associated with, otherwise linked with element of B, then that link is actually called as a relation. So already definition you know, and usually in our textbook they are using the symbol R, and here R is subset of A cross B, where this cross product is for Cartesian product. So this we already did. Introduction also I have given you. One or two example also I told you. Now next heading which we did earlier was types of relation. So there are three types. Primarily there are three types: empty relation, universal relation, or equivalence relation. But in your book, they are making it as a six. Why? I'll be telling you. First of all, what is empty relation? As I told you last time, if no element is related with the other element of a set, then we say that it's an empty relation. If there is no association link of a elements of a given set, then we say that it's a empty relation. Then universal relation means all the elements of that given sets are related with each other. None of the elements are left over. Then it is called universal relation. This is a revision part only. Or one more name you remember, it can be an objective type question. Universal relation can also be called as a travel relation. This always I give importance. Sometimes we forget this name. Then most important is equivalence relation. As like every year, we get a one question related to this equivalence relation. So this you would do it carefully. For that purpose only, we are revising this particular topic. So what do you mean by equivalence relation? If they follows three relations, that's why I told you that there are six relations. If this equivalence relation follows three relations under this heading only, one is a reflexive relation, another one is a symmetric relation, and third one is a transitive relation, then it is called equivalence relation. Last time we did one question from the exercise, one or two question we did from exercise 1.1. So if one element is related with itself, A is related with itself, then we call it as a reflexive relation. If A is related with B and B is related with A, then it is called symmetric. Then transitive is if A is related with B, B is related with C, then A is related with C. It's called transitive. So this already I told you earlier. So up to here, it's a revision part. But today I am going to tell you one very important topic. Mark it as important, and it is not properly given in our textbook also. And very rare question we got in our textbook also. So try to understand this important topic. Equivalence classes. Now what do we mean by equivalence classes? Suppose we got any set A. a big set A, which can be converted into a small subset actually. Suppose we have any relation R in any given set A, and there are many subset of A which is represented by AI. What your book says that suppose a relation is defined on a set A, and this set A can be converted into a many subset. But what type of subset? Disjoint subset. What does it mean? Their elements should not be intersecting with each other. Then the main set is actually subdivided into a small set represented by letter AI. Then these are the characteristics for equivalent classes. Remember, this topic is not given properly. So you prepare this topic properly. It's my guessing. It can be asked theoretically also. Otherwise, they can ask you question also. So come on. R is the relation described on set A. AI is subset of that A. I is the number 1, 2, 3. Now, these AI got some properties. All elements of AI are related with each other. This is one very important property. Then no elements of AI is related with the elements of one more subset AG, where I is not equal to J. Means elements, the intersection of A1 intersection A2, two subset is null set. Then their union is equal to, if suppose there are 10 subset, their intersection, they are disjoints, so their intersection is null set. But when you find their union, and if it is equal to the big set, then we said that AI are called as equivalent classes. Now equivalent classes, they follows all this relation. Equivalent classes, where there are subset of a main set A, then these subsets are disjoint, then their union is equal to the main set, then it is called equivalent classes. If it comes for theoretically, I don't think so. They will not ask that what is equivalence classes, but they can give you a question. Unfortunately, such type of question we don't have properly in our textbook. So suppose if they give you question, then try to identify these equivalence classes. Then also I have selected one question from exercise 1.1. Try to understand. It's not like on this particular question, but I'll try to make it as like this question only on this particular topic. So I have selected one question from exercise 1.1. This is also important question. Question number 12. Now question you see from the textbook. Some sentence I took. R is defined on a set A of all the triangles. T1, T2, T3, T4, T5 are the different triangles. So how that relation is defined? R is equal to T1, T2, where T stands for that triangle. And what is that relation? T1 is similar to T2. This is relation given. Now, what is that question? Prove that it's a equivalence relation. It is very easy, I'll be telling you. Then T1 is given 3, 4, 5. T2 is given 5, 12, 13. And T3 is given 6, 8, 10. If you see, all are actually right angle triangle. These are right angle triangle. 3, 4, 5, yeah, 5, 12, 13 or 6, 8, 10. They are actually following the right angle triangle. Now let us see whether they follows this three relation or not: reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Now come on, every triangle is similar to itself. T1 is similar to T1, so it follows reflexive property. Yeah, T1 is similar to T1, so it follows reflexive property. If T1 is similar to T2, so quite obvious that T2 is similar to T1, so it follows symmetric property also. Then T1 is similar to T2 and T2 is similar to T3, then T1 is similar to T3. So what we can say? Yeah, the relation which is defined as a similar relation follows all these three properties. So it's an equivalence relation. Now there is one more part, that's why I picked up this question. In that they are asking you which two triangles among these three, which two triangles follows that equivalence relation. Now when you find the ratio, you know the property of a similar triangles. ratio of the corresponding sides should be equal, or sides should be proportionate. Come on, 3 divided by 5 or 5 divided by 3, 4 divided by 12 or 12 divided by 4, 5 divided by 13 or 13 divided by 5, you are not going to get a equal ratios. But when you divide 6 by 3, 8 by 4, then 10 by 5, the ratio will be equal, and that is equal to 2. So we can say that T1 and T3 are related with each other. So this is one question 12 purposefully I took, which no doubt follows equivalence relation, plus two triangles are related to each other. Now I am going to do one or two more questions from exercise 1.1. Now one more question I am going to pick up. Purposefully I took example. I told you that there is no such question in exercise 1.1. So I picked up one example. One nice example is example number 5. It's not like directly on that equivalent classes, but I try to make it as a equivalent classes. Just try to understand and practice the question from other book also. Now just go through that question. Example 5, page number 3. How that question is: R is defined on a set of integer z, and R is that relation. And how R is defined? R is order pair AB, where 2 divides A minus B. 2 divides A minus B. Now A and B are any number. If you subtract and 2 divides it, it means that it's a multiple of 2 only. Now first of all we'll prove that it's an equivalence relation or not. So one by one, let us see that it follows a reflexive property or not, or reflexive relation or not. So come on, a reflexive relation means A minus A. A minus A means 0. So 2 divides 0. So it follows reflexive relation. Now if 2 divides A minus B, then surely 2 also divides B minus A. Do you want to see one example? Suppose 2 and 4 are two numbers. So 2 minus 4, 2 divides 2 minus 4, that is minus 2 is divided by 2. 4 minus 2, it is also divided by 2. So it follows symmetric relation also. Now transitive relation, you will have to select 3 elements: A, B, B, C and C, A. If A, B is related, are 3 elements, then suppose 2 divides A minus B. You can take any 3 elements. Suppose 2 divides A minus B and 2 divides B minus C. Then automatically you can take a 2, 4, 6 suppose. Then 2 minus 4 divided by 2, 4 minus 6 divided by 2, 2 minus 6 divided by 2. So it follows transitive relation also. So when you write all these 3 points, so suppose if question comes for 2 marks, then you will get all the 2 marks. If you want, you can support, first of all write theoretically, and if you want you can write example also. See that how much marks that question carries. So this is example 5. But purposefully I took example 5 to tell you about the equivalence classes also. Now how we can modify this as a equivalence classes? Let us divide integer into 2 parts. Let us consider 2 subset of integer z, and they are even number E, as the letter suggests in your textbook, and odd number O. Suppose we take 2 subsets E and O. One consists of even number, other consists of odd number. Now all the elements of E are related with each other. Why? Because all are multiple of 2. Similarly, all the elements of O are related by each other. How? Because they are 2R plus 1. If suppose this is 2R, then it will be 2R plus 1. So their elements are related with each other. Similarly, E intersection O. E intersection O is null set. Intersection of even number and odd number will be always null set, we know. When you find their union, then it will be Z, and Z is our universal set. So it is following all the 3 properties of equivalence classes. Now in the book it is given that here subset of E are called equivalence classes, and it is denoted by this type of curly bracket and write the elements. So these subsets are actually representing equivalent classes. You can write like this also, 2R. Similarly for O, 1 or 2R, 2R plus 1 are equivalent classes. So this question, this example purposefully I took. There is no such a question given in the exercise also. So today's your job is you practice remaining question of exercise 1.1. From front part of exercise we have easy question. You have to prove that the given question follows equivalence relation or not, or otherwise they follows transitive or symmetric or reflexive relation or not. So they are very easy. Even go through the example also. If you feel a problem in any question, one or two geometric questions are also given in the that particular exercise. So that exercise 1.1, remaining last 2-3 questions are very easy. You practice it. If you have any problem, you can tell me, then we'll solve it together. Now, what is the name of this chapter? Name of the chapter is Relation and Function. So now, today, just for introduction, I'm entering into the second part of the chapter, that is called function. Today, just an introduction, but in a coming session, there are many important questions, and this chapter is very big chapter. It will take a lot of effort from you, and many questions are slightly abstract type of question. This chapter itself is abstract chapter. So you will have to give a special attention to the many such questions. So we are entering into the second part of this chapter, and that is called functions. So today just I am going to tell you the meaning of that function and definition. Even in your textbook, they expect that you should know about the function, because directly they are going for types of function. But just for revision sake, today I am telling you what is function. Function is a relation only, but it's a special type of relation. If every element of a first set, every element, it was not in the case of a relation. If every element, if suppose there are two sets, A and B, both are non-empty set, and every element of set A is related with a distinct element of set B, then that relation itself is called function. So first of all, how I started this chapter? Relation is subset of Cartesian product. Now, function is a modified form of a relation. So all are interrelated with each other. In 11th class, already you know that function is denoted by different letters, F, G, H, etc. And suppose if there are two non-empty sets A and B, then function can be written in this way also. That already you know. I already told you. How you read function F is associating set A with B. This is the way how we represent function. So small letter F, G, H are actually symbol for functions. Once more I am repeating that definition. What is function? Function is a modified form of a relation. Only slight differences. If every element of first of all, consider two non-empty set A and B. Every element of set A is related with the unique element of set B. There is no common image. Then that relation itself is called as a function. So for this session, what my suggestion is, do the question of exercise 1.1, select the example also, and questions are abstract. Tell your answer from the back side. Still, if you have any doubt, you can tell me. Next time onwards, we'll concentrate on a function. So for this session, this much only. Thank you.